we're with the Career Development Center Alternative High School, right? You're a student there.
Yeah.
And I'm from UW Extension, Wisconsin Nutrition Education Program. And we are going to do what today, Greg?
Make soup.
Make soup. We're going to make chicken and bean soup. So the first thing I better do is read the ingredients to them so they know how to make the soup. We're going to use 1 can of whole kernel corn, 1 can of black beans, 1 can of kidney beans, 1 can of diced tomatoes, low sodium if possible, 1 can of green chilies, 1 can of chicken broth, low sodium if possible, 1 can of chunked chicken or 1 cup of cooked shredded chicken, and 1 can of cheddar cheese soup. That'll thicken it up, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's start. First thing we're going to do is open that can. We have a can opener that's unusual there, don't we, Greg?
Yeah.
It's one that cuts under the can, under the edge, instead of on the top. And if you hang on to them the back a little bit, it'll move around for you. And just keep turning that can opener. So we're going to have corn in our soup. That adds a little sweetness to it. You don't think of corn as being very sweet, but it does add sweetness to the product, and also a vegetable, and kind of a starchy vegetable. So we've got some that are a little more nutritious that we're going to add as well. So he's almost all the way around the can. You can take out the juice of the corn, or you can use it. We're going to have the corn juice in this time. If you don't have canned corn, or if you prefer to have there, he's got it. If you prefer frozen, you can add that instead. So he's going to put that in our pot, and we're going to get that pot going so it gets hot, and we're going to turn it right on to high because we've got a lot of things to cook. Now, if you'd rather, we could make this in the microwave, couldn't we?
Yeah.
All right, so today we're going to do it, though, on the stove, and we're going to make sure it's centered right in that pot so that it's going to get nice and hot. The next thing we need are black beans and kidney beans. So we've got a container here, a colander with a bowl underneath it to catch the juices. So Greg's going to pour those beans in. I'm going to give him the black beans. Go ahead and you can pour those in. And sometimes they kind of stick, so I'm going to give them a spoon to get the rest of those beans out. Beans are something that a lot of people in the Midwest don't eat a lot of, but they're very, very high in fiber. They can be counted as a protein or as a vegetable, and very, very good for us to eat. So awesome, we got that. Now we're going to take the kidney beans and we're going to put those in it as well. Now the juices are going to be caught down underneath in the bowl, but I could not get low sodium beans, and we tend to eat way too much salt in our diets. So after Greg gets all of the beans out, what he's going to do is he's going to rinse those beans in the sink and get rid of some of that salt. So he'll get those rinsed. Then we're going to add a can of diced tomatoes. Now if you like, I chose ones that were stewed tomatoes with onion, celery, and bell pepper. So again, you get a few more vegetables into your product, a little more color, which we're always looking for. So I'll put those in. And then the green chilies. Now the green chilies are what add the spiciness to our product. So if you're really a wimp when it comes to spiciness, maybe you don't want to add the whole can, but we're going to add the whole can. We like spicy, right, Greg?
Yeah.
Okay, so you got them rinsed, and notice that we got most of that juice out there now, and we're going to take this over to the bowl, and you can put that into our pot so that we'll have our beans in. All right, and the next thing that we need is a can of chicken broth. So you can pour that chicken broth in. Now, if you don't have chicken broth at home, you might have bouillon, or you might have powdered bouillon or cube bouillon. So you might put in 1 tablespoon of bouillon and a cup of water, or a bouillon cube and some water. Then we need the chicken. Now, a lot of people are going to think, oh boy, how do I get a bunch of cooked chicken? So you can either buy it in the can, as we said, or if you have a chicken breast at home, and that's what you happen to have, then you want to cook that chicken breast in a little bit of oil in the pot before you add other things. What we did here was I had some boned chicken breasts. I took the chicken breast off the bone, then I took the bones that had some meat on them and some water, and I cooked them in oil and water until they were done, and then I cooled them and took the chicken off the bone. So that's how we got this chicken breast, and it's all cooked, fully cooked. And Greg is going to put that in. He might need that spoon to get the rest of it out. And then to kind of thicken this soup, we're going to add a can of cheddar cheese soup. Now it's kind of hard to get that out of there, and I'm not sure that's going to fit in very well, right? So we're going to try a knife, and I've also got a smaller spoon here. So Greg's going to put that right into the soup. Now, if you don't have a stove that's working at home and you'd rather do this in the microwave, then you could put this all in the microwave and heat it until it gets fully hot. When you eat soup, you always want to get it almost to boiling for food safety wise, because especially if you're reheating it later, that helps to kill any bacteria that might be in there. So he's getting all that soup in there. And this is a very simple recipe that you could do at home for lunch, or you could do for dinner for your family. If your young people are cooking at home, this is one thing they could get ready while parents are still at work when they get home from school. Let's switch out now, and I'll take the knife. You try this spoon and see if you can get the rest out with that. That might work better. So basically, lots of different cans, plus our chicken, cans of food, plus our chicken. And we're going to heat this. Now, will it heat faster, Greg, if you have the cover on or the cover off? How will it heat faster, with the cover on or the cover off?
Cover on.
Cover on. So we're going to put the cover on, and we're going to stir this once in a while. We're going to get it hot just to boiling, and we'll meet you at the table.
Okay.
Our meal is ready.
Yeah.
What did we make?
Soup.
Soup. And
Vegetables and crackers and yogurt.
Okay. So there's apple. So
Yeah.
we have a fruit group. Crackers are what group?
Grain.
Grain. Very good. And yogurt.
Milk.
The dairy and milk group. Very good. And we have a glass of milk as well.
Yeah.
So we have a very balanced, healthy meal. And was it pretty fast to make?
Yeah.
Very fast to make. Now, if you want to eat the same soup a couple days later, we could cook it down till it's thick, and then we could put it over brown rice. So we'd have a whole grain as well with our brown rice, and another totally different meal. We want to eat up the soup within 3 to 5 days, right? And always reheat it until it's what? Lukewarm or really hot, Greg? Lukewarm or really hot?
Lukewarm.
No, you want to get it really hot, right? Because you'll kill the bacteria, right? And keep it safe to eat. And if you don't eat it all within 3 days, we should freeze it, right? And thaw it out, and you can have it later. All right, join us at the table.
This program was recorded and presented by Chippewa Valley Community Television. Chippewa Valley Community Television is made possible by continuing community support. If you'd like to volunteer or make a donation, you can contact us by calling 715-839-5067 or on the web at www.cvctv.org.